let's talk about, brother, how we earned our first $100. So we're going to tell our collective stories.
Put me on the spot here, Andy. Yeah, so like I earned my first $100 entirely by accident, but I can walk back a few steps maybe and like point out the things I did right leading up to it. So I was on your forums one day and I got a DM from someone being like, hey, I read your guide on fashion. Can I pay you some money to like basically jump on Zoom call and, sort it out? And that at the beginning, I was like, I had no idea what to charge. I remember like messaging you and kind of in a panic being like, what the hell do I do? I don't know if you remember this. Like, I think I messaged you over Skype. That's how long ago, because we're still talking to each other on Skype. And I was like, yo, I've been like propositioned for like, it's kind of like when a girl like shows interest in you for the first time. And you're like, fuck, like, what do I do? What do I do? Yeah. How much money do I charge? And I remember like, I think I told you and you were like, charge 50. And I think I was a bit of a pussy and was like, I'll do 30. I was like, I'm not ready to charge like anywhere near the amount of money that like would be a reasonable amount of money. So that's not my first $100, but what it led into was I had that good experience. I didn't shit myself on a Zoom call with this dude. It was perfectly fine. We got his like fashion sorted out. And then I basically put notice up on the boards being like, hey, if anyone else, I've had a really good experience here doing this. I know a lot of guys have read my fashion guide, and if any of you want help, like send me a DM and we'll do it for $50 each. And then I think I got like 5 guys like in a row. So that's whatever that is. That's like $250 on top of the $30 I made first. And that was in like the first, I think 2 weeks of like starting this and getting that call from that guy. So yeah, it was pretty cool. I think the obvious thing to say there is that I had the free guide out in the first place. So the reason that the guys knew that I was good to talk to on this stuff was I'd written a free fashion guide specifically aimed at, guys who are getting into dating and want to improve. Like everyone wants to improve their physique. Everyone wants to get over their approach anxiety. But like in our community, we understand that fashion's really important too, especially like the looks you can create and the vibe you can give off through fashion, through your clothing. And yeah, I just had a decent, willing audience who wanted that product. And I put out some free value, I think is the point. Like I put out a free guide. I'd given value already. And yeah, there were some guys who wanted a bit more extra help, and I was happy to give it to them. So that's the simple story of how I made some money.
Dude, I think the takeaway there is that like that seems so messy and disorganized. It's not like you knew what the fuck you were doing. In fact, like completely the opposite. Me making money at the start was exactly the same. It was like so unbelievably messy. I had no idea what to charge. I think I did a few for free, and then I think I charged something like $10 for like an hour, which ended up being like a 2-hour call because you know that I like to talk. Like, I don't think this shit has to be like organized and perfect. It's wonderful if you can do that, but how many guys do we have coming to the coaching group and they're like, I want to make money. And I think that they put all this fucking pressure on themselves, man, that like they have to have a business plan. They have to know their niche. They have to know how to make money. They have to have a website. They have to have a professional portfolio. It literally is just like saying to a bunch of people, yo, will you give me $5 or $10 if I give you this thing of value? And some people will say no and some people will say yes. But I think it has to be fucking fancy or pretty. It's great if it is, but...
Yeah, I mean, all I did was post like a 2-paragraph offer to everyone being like, hey, does anyone need help with it? Like, obviously people need help with this. If someone has like reached out to me, like someone reached out to me under their own, like their own idea that they could pay me money and I would do that for them. So like the fact that that happened told me there was more people that would be willing. I just have to find them. And the first thing you do obviously is market your offer, like come up with an offer, be like, okay, I'll offer one-on-one style coaching and this is my price. All I did was post it somewhere I know there'll be more guys. It's really simple when you actually break down the steps. But I think a lot of guys are off, like, I guess, put off by seeing how professionalized and how things like some of the more successful businesses are. And like, especially like they'd look at you and think you're way too far ahead to like, it'd be way too much energy and effort to like recreate what you have in terms of like your funnel, even though you would probably admit that your funnel isn't anywhere near as sophisticated as you want it to be.
Correct. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, like when you're taking your first steps into making money, yeah, it's really like good if you can like tap into a community really well, guys that really well, that kind of stuff. I think we told a lot of guys to just hit up their friends and family first when they start offering services.
That's a perfect way to start. Like if you're, whatever your business is, let's say you're doing photography, or we got one guy in the group right now who wants to make money from guitar. It's like literally just hit up your friends and family and be like, yo, give me $5 and I'll play you a song. Give me $5 and I'll take some photos for you. Like friends and family will always support you. And then boom, now you have a hustle. You have a side business.
Yeah. I mean, there's also something that I saw with this, which was like, I basically created a job for myself rather than making a business. And obviously nowadays we're trying to make businesses where we have like multiple offers and we have like more of a marketing plan, all that stuff. But at first you can basically just do the sort of work you would do for someone else. You're just like looking for your own customers. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to, you don't even have to have a business. You just have to have a thing you're going to do for people for money. I know that sounds really reductive and probably that sounds like, oh, duh, well done, Cameron. That's how you make money. But like at the same time, that's literally the actions to take. You're like, I have a thing that I can do, which I can offer to people for a fee. That's all you need to do. You know what I mean? It's really simple. And I feel a bit like I cheated because someone like, you know, hit me up first, but at least I took the act. In my mind, that happened and that like woke me up to the possibility of what I could do because I had been looking for something. So maybe I just got like, you know, struck by lightning, you know?
Dude, I think like, let's talk the difference between like business versus like, I don't know, just making money as you phrased it. I think when people talk about the word business, and maybe you and I can like ban the word business from our own content, we'll just talk about like making money. Because people think like business, oh fuck, I have to get like all of this structure in place. I have to be professional. I have to have a website. I have to know how taxes work and all of that shit. It's like, no. That's almost too intimidating. At the start, just think, can I make $5? Like, will a friend or a family member give me $5 if I give them something of value? If the answer is yes, then do that. And if you think the answer is no, just try it anyway, because your friends and family will give you $5 to support you. But yeah, dude, I think the label of business is almost too intimidating. It was for me. I didn't call it a business until I still don't technically call it a business, even though it literally is.
I think the way you put it, I remember
scary.
When I saw a Good Looking Loser, the tag was just like, I am offering coaching. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like, this is Killer and a Loser Incorporated, blah, blah, like hit up my secretary for a, like, you know, a call or whatever. It was just like, hey, I'm Andy. I'm on the forum. I'm offering coaching to guys who want it. I'm interested to hear like your actual first client that paid you money, like in terms of like, because we can say the first $100, but like the actual first client interaction where someone was like, hey, like what was that like?
Terrifying. So I can't remember if it was Ed or this other guy that I coached, Roger, or this other guy. I won't say his name because he probably wants to be anonymous. There was like 3 guys that I coached like at first. I can't remember which one of them was literally the first, but I can remember what those first 3 guys were like. And Ed will be able to tell you what it was like. But I was terrified. I had no idea what I was doing. I fully embraced giving myself permission to suck. And I think doing a few coaching calls for free and then only charging like $5 or $10, whatever I charged. It was like $5 to $10, something like that. Charging so low gave me that permission to not do like the world's best job. I still put all the pressure on myself because like, you know, we do that as human beings, but I think charging super low and just giving yourself permission to suck with it. And I really had no idea what I was doing. I had like no fucking idea, dude. But my mindset was just like, all right, this guy needs help. I'm going to try. And I can't guarantee. And the thing that gave me permission to do that. And so anybody else listening who's thinking like, you know, I want to get started with making some money, but I'm nervous. The thing that gave me permission was I said, if I really do such a fucking terrible job, I can either give the guy another free call, like completely for free, or I can give him his money back. That just like took all the fucking pressure off because I was like, worst case scenario, I tried and I didn't do a good job and I give him his money back. Nothing's lost. So yeah, coaching was not good at the start.
Do you want to give some context as well? Like how you found clients in the beginning and like how that journey from being someone who doesn't do that kind of thing to someone who does?
Sure. So for me, it was like I already had a website. I kind of had the mindset of Good Looking Loser. If you build it, they will come. And at the start, to be clear, I had no intention of making any money from coaching whatsoever. But I, like you, had given enough free content and all of that a few people were like, yo, could I talk to you? And I was like, oh shit, like maybe I can start coaching people from this shit. I at the start was just like, I'm happy with like $5 or $10. So that isn't necessarily what everyone would do. Like most of our clients don't already have a website or a YouTube channel. Like they come to us saying, I want to start making money. And so for them, it's like, right, you don't have any product, you don't have any information out there that's free. For you, it's going to be more cold approach and then building those testimonials. For me, the testimonials or the evidence that I could help people was my website. You too, because you'd already given away a shitload of help for free. And so then people are like, oh, this motherfucker's like free shit is already really good. Yeah, I can give him some money. So yeah, if you don't have that, if somebody doesn't have that, I would just do a few for free, get some testimonials and go from there. Or hit up your friends and family because they won't require evidence from you. They won't require a testimonial. They'll just be like, I love you, my beautiful baby boy. Of course, I'll give you $10. And you're like, thanks, mom, I love you. So yeah, that's how I'd start.
I would say like both of us were like 4 or 5 years deep into the communities we were in as well. Mm-hmm. So like you were obviously like a moderator on GLL, which is where everyone knew your like reputation from, and that's where you got your first like website viewers and all that stuff from. And then when I got given the guy who called me up to offer me the money, I was on your forum, and I was like probably one of the few guys who was like, you know, really contributing. So it's like we had those positions, or I guess of authority a little bit as well within communities. So like, if anyone out there has like, is in a community where they have a position like, you know, higher end of authority, there is money to be made there from people who will trust you on that basis as well. So I think, yeah, I get what people want to start their YouTube channels and stuff, and they want to build authority first. I do understand that because I don't think either of us was coming from complete zero. You know what I mean?
Sure. And I get that. I guess I would add in the caveat of like, if money is something that you want to do, like you want to start making money from this shit, don't procrastinate. It's the same stuff we say about women. Like, let's say your goal is to get some more dating and sex experience. And let's say you have some weight to lose. We wouldn't say wait until you're 10% body fat before you ever talk to your first woman ever. No, like talk to women now. So yeah, I would love to see guys or girls as they're building their YouTube channel, they're also out there talking to friends and family and offering a product and something. You can kind of build both at the same time. You don't have to do what you and I did, which is build the free content first. I did that, to be clear, because I had no intention of making money. If I had come into it wanting to make money from the start, I would have asked for money from day one. Or I would have offered something for money.
Neither of us made like, I think you didn't make the articles and I didn't make that guide to make money. It was just like that was like a byproduct. Correct. I actually made that guide because I was sick of like having to give the advice on the forums.
I was just going to say that. My entire website exists because I got sick of having to copy paste or type out the same thing to people over and over again. And at some point I was like, I need to just have like a fucking bank of all this, like a filing cabinet of all of this information that I've typed out many times before. So I can just, and then I was like, oh, I could just have a website. And a few people pushed me into it. I was like, fuck it, let's make a website. That's why the Tinder guide exists. Guys, you have to understand the reason why I don't talk a whole lot about like what to text women, what to do on dates. Like, you know, how do I edit my Tinder photos? Like the reason I don't talk about that is because I fucking hate talking about that shit. Like, I can't stand talking about that shit. So I wrote the Tinder guide because I was like, I want motherfuckers to never ask me these questions ever again. Because to me, they're not topics that I give a fuck about. So I wrote the Tinder guide literally so that I could just say to people, shut the fuck up and go to the Tinder guide. Like, literally, that's why the Tinder guide exists. Because I'm like, I don't want to talk about this shit. It doesn't excite me. I want to talk about peace and love and sex and BDSM and fucking other things. So, yeah, a lot of content creators have content literally because we're lazy. I mean, it's not lazy, it's efficient, but it's like, I don't want to talk about the same shit over and over again.
Yeah, I feel that. I haven't made fashion content in months.
Yeah, how many times do you need to answer the question, what do I wear in summer? What's a basic outfit? And you're like, oh my fucking God, dude, I've said this 100 times. That's why you have your ebook of like, here's my basic style advice.
I have a video guide, but like, and I have the video guide because if people ask me like a lot of questions, I can just be like, hey, you can consider buying this. You can get the free download that I've got. But other than that, like I only coach guys who've already got the video guide because I don't want to, I'm just not interested in like one-on-one coaching with someone who's like, you know, just like a random that I don't like has come through, has no idea what my stuff is about anyway. So yeah, that's me preventing myself from getting into too many, like, it's really interesting because it's the thing that made me money in the original, in the beginning, like just isn't really what I want to be doing anymore. So like, I'll do it every now and again, especially for guys who like, you know, hit me up and I know who they are. And I'm like, yeah, I know who you are. I know what you can do. That's really cool. If I see potential in someone, I'll be like, yeah, we can get you a crazy good, like look, crazy good fashion. But no, I don't want to have like don't know, a day of like coaching 7 people one-on-one, the same wardrobe, like basically over and over again. You know, that's that's why I did a video guide. It's like, here it is. This will help you get laid. Go and get it. Go watch it. Simple.
It's funny how there's a discrepancy often between like what the audience wants and what the content creator wants to talk about. And it makes sense when you think about it. Like, so I recently made a couple of posts and I said to people, yo, I'm going to do some sort of video course or a few different video courses. What topics do you want me to talk about? And the number one thing that came up multiple times and has like tons of, likes, and I've had this emailed to me so many times. The number one thing people want is a walkthrough or an explanation, a guide on how to edit Tinder photos. And I want to put okay, this is an exaggeration, but I want to put a gun to my head and be like, I'd rather fucking die than talk about it. Like, I just don't want to talk about that. Now, that said, I'm actually going to record that. Literally just so for forever, I get to say, shut the fuck up and just go buy this video course. Like, I'm not going to answer that question. I don't want to talk about it. So there is sort of you do listen to the audience when they say that they really want something, but you do it more sometimes because you're just like, I want this to be the definitive guide so none of you ever ask me this question ever again. Like, just go watch this. That's kind of what the Tinder guide, that's why the Tinder guide is so comprehensive. I didn't do it because it's like I enjoyed sitting there for 9 months talking about something I didn't massively care about. It's like I just wanted it to be the definitive guide so then forever people can just sort of leave me alone and go, okay, there's the Tinder guide. That's all that he has to say on that. Cool, I can go and do that. And then I get to move on to the things that I want to talk about. So,
yeah, I feel that. I do. Honestly, I get where you're coming from. I know by the way, if anyone signs up for the coaching group, by the way, Andy and I have an entire video about how we selected our photos and stuff on our Tinders. So if you actually want to know the answers to especially photo selection and what we did, join the coaching group because you will have full access.
We put tons of effort into that video. Yeah,
I'm telling more guys in the group now. People ask for Tinder advice. I'm like, you have to go watch that video because Andy and I like broke down in as granular detail as we possibly could.
It's like the most advanced fucking video we've done on like what Tinder photos to select, what bio to select. We basically analyzed each other's profiles and said, what are we both doing correct and what do we think we could do better?
Yeah, I mean that's all guys really want. Sometimes it's like an over-the-shoulder look at like how you like analyze shit. So yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't think people are still watching your content, mate. I don't think they care too much. You're not talking about Tinder all the time.
No, yeah. But you know how it is. It's like, and it's a weird thing because I understand why people ask the questions. And by the way, I hope none of this comes across as me saying like, don't ask questions. It's definitely not that. But you sort of move on. And often because people are at different stages of their lives or they have different goals, like a lot of our audience does come to us and they say, I just want to get laid. Like, I'm a virgin. I just want to get laid. And for us, that stage of our life was, for me, that was 8 years ago when I first started wanting to get laid. Like, that's a long fucking time. And so you're happy to still coach people on that shit. I still get excited when, a guy in the group, our coaching group is like, oh my God, I lost my virginity. That's still ridiculously exciting to me. But yeah, there are other topics out there. I wouldn't want to talk about getting laid for the rest of my life. I'd be happy to talk about sex. I think sex is something I could absolutely talk about, but I'm talking about like the getting laid phase of like, holy shit, I just want to get a girlfriend or I just want to get my dick in a vagina. It's like, yeah, I feel like there's only so many things that I can say on that. And again, if someone asks me a question, I'll answer the fucking question. But yeah, it's one of those things that I'm more happy to talk about in the coaching group rather than in content.
We've gone off on a bit of a tangent, but I have a great point to make about this whole last 10 minutes of conversation where it's like, whatever you do to start making money isn't going to be the thing you necessarily have to do for the rest of your fucking life.
That's Alex
so just,
quote,
get out there and break the wallet barrier, I guess, as in for the first time, go and get money from other people for your own stuff, get that experience. You'll get sales experience, even though like you and me aren't particularly big on sales as like a thing, but you'll get a lot of that experience. You'll get a lot of the experience of the mental side of things, like, being scared to ask people for money or that stuff like that. You'll get the feelings of like, I've got to get a result for this client, that sort of stuff, like feeling the pressure. You got to get out there and get that experience. You will then be able to pivot into other things. If you find out after 6 months or something is not for you, or you do it a couple of times, it's not for you, just get out there and fucking break that wallet barrier is like my main advice here.
Yeah, you're basically showing yourself that money is out there and that you're allowed to have some of it. The same thing we say with like getting more dating and sex experience, for guys. Like the first couple of times you get a girl's number, you realize, oh, holy fuck, like there are some women out there that would actually give me a phone number. And then the first time you go on a couple of dates, You're like, holy shit, like women will actually show up and listen to me and pay attention to me and be nice to me. The first couple of times you have sex, you're like, holy shit, like a woman will actually like me. I'm valid enough. I'm okay enough that a woman will have sex with me. Holy shit. And it just completely unlocks everything. It's why we say all the time, like, getting laid isn't just like, oh, I just want to get laid. Anybody who thinks that is sort of missing the point. The reason why a lot of guys give a shit about getting laid is so that they can prove to themselves that they're allowed to have some of the things that they want from life, and then they can go on and do other things as well. It opens up all these fucking doors, and money is absolutely one of them. The first time you earn your first dollar, like literally just $1, you're like, holy shit, this dollar didn't exist in my hand or in my bank account before this moment. I made this happen. Like, I literally got this dollar. And that just opens so many doors and blows your mind open, because you're like, holy shit, I don't have to rely on a job or somebody else like paying me. I don't have to rely on like the 9 to 5 grind and going through job interviews and not getting fired and all of that shit. I can literally just go up to people I don't fucking know and get money from them in exchange for giving them something of value. So yeah, it really does unlock all these fucking doors, man. It did for me.
Agreed. If you are out there thinking, I can't fucking make my first $100, that's crazy, then, let 2 guys who've done it already help you, would be my suggestion.
4 guys, motherfucker, 4. So we got 4 coaches as part of the coaching program now. And if you sign up, you get access to all 4 of us. It is you, it is me, it is Ed, and it is another guy called Taylor. They've both been on my channel plenty of times. But
Taylor had the threesome video recently on your channel.
Yeah. Right now, anybody listening, if you sign up for the coaching, not only do you get access to all 4 of us, but I'm giving away 18 weeks for the price of 12 if you sign up in the next 3 weeks.
Holy shit. Good value. Such good value.
Holy fuck. So if you've been on the fence, and by the way, that's only if you pay in full. So payment plans, you don't get that deal. It's only if you pay upfront, all in full. We would love to fucking have you. So with the other 3 coaches or the other 2 coaches.
Whoever said we were terrible at sales, we're so fucking good at sales, man.
We're so fucking smooth at sales, motherfucker. No, but it is. It's a fucking amazing coaching program. I think it's one of those things where, because you and I don't hardcore push it, like we don't have like some sexy sales pitch. So many guys join the program and they're like, Jesus fucking Christ, this is like 100 times better than what I thought. Like everything you guys ever said didn't fully encapsulate what the fucking coaching program is. It's like a brotherhood for life. And yeah, I agree. We could probably work on the sales and the marketing shit, but we give ourselves permission to suck, and we're doing our best.